Welcome to episode 3 of my Singapore vlog series. This is our first full day in Singapore, and this is the outside of our hotel in case anyone was interested. They actually gave us a complimentary breakfast, which included fried rice, fried chicken, and samosas. So it was a lot of fried food very early in the morning. And then we took the bus, and the first stop was Orchard Road, so we just kind of decided to walk around, see what we could find. And our first stop was actually 7-Eleven. I don't endorse Coke, but these bottles were kind of funny. I actually got a BTS coffee with my man on it, and my first ever Dubai chocolate bar, which had cake inside. It was very good, would definitely get again. The outside of this area was very cool. There was a lot of artsy stuff to look at. I love this picture of me. But we ended up going inside the Paragon Shopping Center, I believe it was called. And this was a very bougie mall. It was 6 stories and it had all the expensive stores in it. But it also had basically an extension of the stuff we were seeing outside. There was basically a little art exhibit going on. It was very cool, and we also saw a lot of familiar faces. So as I mentioned, all the expensive name brands, okay? And so they had also all the famous actors and K-pop idols, advertising. I was feeling very intimidated by all the expensive stuff, but I found this Metro. It's an Indonesia based store that was kind of home goods, kind of gift selection stuff. It was very nice, but I actually found a couple things. I bought vitamin C. But believe it or not, I found a Toys R Us in this mall, and also met Iron. This Toys R Us had some cool Singapore kind of exclusive stuff. Look at Stitch with the Durian, very cute. And it was just very exciting to be in a Toys R Us after all these years. I found this Squid Game blind box thing that was a little keychain, and it was less than $5, and I was okay, I'm gonna get this. Now, I didn't get the character I wanted. I wasn't super bummed, it's still quite cute, but I was oh, I wanted the main guy. So my mom ended up talking me into going back, and so I did, and it worked out. Shout out to mom for talking me into going back. She don't even know anything about Squid Game, but thanks mom. I ended up getting the one I wanted. Walked around for a little bit after that. Calvin Klein had all the K-pop idols, New Jeans, Mingyu, Unu, and listen, they had mainly expensive kind of bougie restaurants in here, so we were maybe it's time to go. So we left and went over to, I believe it was called Lucky Plaza. They had a food court, and I was okay, it's time for me to get my kaya toast and coffee. Now the others got different stuff. One person got sushi, and they were it's too fishy. The other people, they got this set meal that had pizza and chicken, and the portion size was not giving what was advertised. It was just too small, okay? Now my food was fine. You can't really mess it up, I think. Now around this time though, I'm realizing I'm gonna be late for the whole thing I came here for. The Singapore trip is literally for my friend's wedding, and the rehearsal was that night, and I didn't know that the Singapore traffic, that rush was happening 6 instead of 5, and I just was not prepared. I went onto the Grab app, and the prices were crazy, and it ended up also being a 45-minute drive. I was running late. This was just wild. And to make matters worse, when I got there, I lost my data. Although I had put in my PayPal and stuff, it was not letting me pay, and I ended up having to pay the Grab driver with cash. Thankfully, I was not the only one who made it to the rehearsal late, but I still felt very stressed. Now, after the rehearsal, some of us bridesmaids hung out, and then I stopped by 7-Eleven before going back to my hotel, and that was my dinner. And also, the bride gave us little gift bags, and it was so cute. It was kind of custom for each one of us, and this one had a picture from one of my favorite memories of us, and they also threw in a couple K-pop things in there for me because they know I love K-pop. So I got some new BTS photo cards and a gift card to go to a local K-pop store. And that was my first full day in Singapore. Stay tuned for the next episode.